dive deeper into his report and draw insights and see what could be done in terms of overall balance and well-being. The first very interesting thing about this report is that there are three parts of being which are reasonably on the high: the deeper self, followed by the creative mind, followed by the dynamic energy. So this is in combination, this is a flowing energy that can manage change, that can flow, that can evolve, that can transform. And the mind also is reasonably developed, so the clarity of where one needs to go is probably reasonably there also, in which the data mind is leading the inspiring mind, which typically would mean that the person would tend to move along the known grooves. If the integrative mind was greater, it would mean that the person would move more around new components of purpose, idea and vision. In this case, the tendency would be to go more on the known path, but yet there is a huge capacity of flow. So this is the thing that comes first. The second, the eye goes to the two lower scores. One is the emotional care and the other is the sensory enjoyment. Now, it's a little difficult to interpret this without knowing the person's context, because if whether this is a challenge or whether this is a conscious stepping back from something. Typically what this means is that the person is experiencing a certain distance or disconnect from others, people. It could be a person, it could be a few other people. So basically the emotional care is people, others. The sensory enjoyment is taking care of one's own self and one's own needs and comforts and enjoyment. Both the scores being low and the others people being low typically could mean that somewhere there is a lesser engagement with others and a little bit of one's own self in terms of taking care. Now, if this is a sudden reason thing, some kind of a shock or a challenge that was posed on, then the recovery is just that slowly to bring that emotional care and senses into its natural rhythm. However, if this is something that is thought through and very conscious, because if this is serving one's own need or aspiration to evolve or move forward, and the reason I'm saying that the deeper self and the creative mind and the dynamic energy are quite high, so which means there is a creative will acting. And in such a case, to move forward, if the person is consciously taking a step back from the current relationships and its configuration, then that way the interpretation could be is that the person is experiencing a certain disconnect, but it is by choice, and the attempt is to move forward into a different level. So about the two lower scores, the two possibility could be is if it's sudden, if it just came without one expecting it, then one has to slowly recover back. But if it's a conscious choice, then the person is making some attempt to move forward, and that can be rightfully done in a balanced and maintaining that creative will. These are the first insight that comes. More can be dived in with a person on their own and see if what further insights could come in.